Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. 869 is our solve count. Very nice. Where are we going today? No idea. No idea at all. Where are we? Here. Area number. We could do some area number puzzles, I think. I'll probably be fine. Of course it would be a Gemini one though. There's one. There's one. It's only difficulty 4, so it shouldn't be too bad, he says. Right, well, this line must exist, because this can't be a 4 and a 7 at the same time. This must go to there. And it might go to here, it might not. Then let's get some notes going in here. This is going to be part of a 4. This is going to be a 7. This is going to be a 9. And so that line obviously has to exist. This has to come to there. This has to come to there. Now, for this to get out, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a 4 with a 3-liner on it. How can I do that? Because these can't be part of the same thing on both sides of this line. Is there any other way this can go? I don't think so. Well, it doesn't have to take those. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 3 and 5, which would be this. So that becomes 4. So those are happy. Glad I didn't get too stuck on that existing up there. So that's got to come out for 3 at least. This is either going to be this, but more likely is going to be that. If I undo this, this is 20. So there's 9 and 9 for 18 with 2 spare space. So all I have to do is figure out a way to make these 9s match. How hard can that be? Now I've just got to get my tuition hat on. There could be a world where this does this so that that can be a very long line. But I don't think it's gonna. With that at 8, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I'm back to that being fairly happy. Could this be 4 by 4 for 7? That would need to be 4 by 4 and that, but then this can't curl upwards. That's 8. But there's no hook. That would be 2 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 2. But this would need to extend up to there. And I can't get this 4. Like, those match now, but I can't get this 4 to match that 4. Except I absolutely can, because I can do it that way. Lovely. Alright, that's a nice start. How many do we have in total around here? 8 more. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe another. Match. I mean, honestly, I'm very happy just jumping around. I have hell memories of this. I think in my learned wisdom, I think the line that divides the two is going to have to be somewhere around this island, because obviously we can't have two pieces that have an independent hole in. It's 41, so each side is 21 large. And the tricky part, I think, is that this side kind of has this 15 sized 3x5 with a couple of bits off of it. But the problem with that is there's no way you're drawing a 3x5 up here. Those don't match anywhere in. Now, this starts as a match. The bottom of the T would have to be that. Can I make the rest of the space between these two match? I have no idea. Well, this can't do this, I think, because the hole would mean that there's no way to make this shape around a hole on the green side now. No, I can't get there with that, so I'm not gonna sit and force it. But there's a few other easier ones here. Shape bank and match. That was nice and simple. Just visualized that one all the way to its conclusion. Precision 13 match. And this is 52, so it's what, 4 shapes? My immediate thoughts are surrounding this as like a narrow gap of 2, this as like a narrow gap of 2, maybe that as a narrow gap of 2, and this as a narrow gap of 2, sort of. $13. $5, $5, $3. Why is this looking so good to me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's broken down immediately. There was also never going to be a 2 that would fit in here. It's a shame. 4 groups of 13. I don't know if this void in the center is supposed to be some kind of clue. What does that make? 13. Crushed it, mate. Absolutely crushed it. There's the big 6 there. A 7 there. Goodness. 4 more total. So there's this one back here that I struggle with. A 6, a 7. Where's the last one? Oh, down here. There's a 5. Shape bank, Must use one of these shapes. I'm suspecting the one on the left. But let's just think about what else it could be. I think this 5 is not going to work out. Is it ever going to be that guy? Well, can it do this? Because it's one nub. Can't fit there to do that up to here. So maybe it's not that, which is intriguing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The different kind of corner points here must only have limited geometry about which ones we actually can build this with. So, guy on the left. This guy. The only way that shape can fit down here is this. Then the only way a piece can fit here is that, and leaves that. So I don't think it is that, even though it looks the most intuitive to me. Long L. I don't even know how we would get long L. It's 4 and 1. But it can't go that way, and it can't go that way. So I think long L is out. So I think it has to be guy on the right, which is 3, 1, 1. Now, this can either go left or right. Or... yeah, it can't go this way, because it leaves a negative space. So we're following left right now. How else does this kind of go? This is close. It's very close. But it falls apart in this corner. Alright, let's try starting on the other side and just see if that gets us to anything bigger and better. This is going this way as our variation. Alright, then we end up with one of these again. So let's try this way as our variation. Every time. Every time we end up wanting one of these ones on the left for the leftover space. Well, if it is this shape, the only way that shape... well, I can do this, or it can be inverted of that, can't it? But then that would do that. That would do that. Then that can't do the inversion of itself. I can't do that. I think it can do that. I can't do that. Every time I end up in a piece that can't exist. Am I doubly, triply certain it is that shape? This can't go 1 nubbin 4 long here, and it can't go 4 nubbin 1 long there, so it's definitely not the middle shape. And I still think my logic is sound that this shape can only fit in this corner this way. There's no other way for that to be rotated or flipped or anything else to get a protrusion down there. It would have to go like out to here and up, which it can't. So it does have to be this shape on the right. But where's the most limiting factor about where that shape can exist? One of them is going to have to take this. And it can't be a 3/2, which is where we were a minute ago, but we were talking about this left-right divide that clearly I didn't do enough to investigate. And then I come up against this problem again. This nasty, nasty thing. Where can a variation on all of this occur? Can't be there. How do we get this piece to be happy in any capacity? Like, this is also true that this can't do that way or that way. So it must either do a right-hand spawn or a left-hand spawn. That can't do that way. It can do this way. Or it can do this way. So that's a right-hand spawn, then this is a left-hand spawn. That goes that way. Nothing else can go. So that has to go this way now. Then we end up with this, which I believe is a problem. Can't get around that. How do we always end up with the same little area of non-cooperative shape? This is bonkers to me. Because it doesn't feel like there's like a strong enough line of definites. It's try a binary side of one of these two shapes, eliminate it, and then carry on. And this doesn't feel like a good way to try and make progress, but I don't see any other way of going about this. this becomes a problem. I can't see a line of logic of something else to do here. I'm reasonably certain about the shape I need, being the one on the right. There's just too many ways that the others don't work. Like, middle doesn't work there. Then this just immediately becomes a big problem. I just can't tessellate what's left enough. It feels like this corner, which does seem to be the corner I've investigated least, has the narrowest band of options, right? Because it's either this, which then goes to that, and this, because it can't do that, or it has to be that. We can't do this because, well, oh my god, this looks like it almost wants to be nicer, but... Oh, thank god. Thank god. Right, so 3 left. This 4 that I don't like, a 7 and a 6. Shall we try a 6? The 6 has rose windows. What does this one have? Oh my god. So are these all... Yeah, this is a 2 rose window match. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 match, which is bonkers to me. And then it comes full circle back to a 2 match. And like... What, this is 92. So it's what, 46 tiles big. But there's like all of this space here that is way more confined. And I have to presume, per my previous observations, that each one of these shapes is going to have 1 hole in it each and then share the border of the other hole. But whether they have to be independently having those and sharing this, I've got no idea. But having seen this and struggling with this, it feels futile to start stabbing at that. Maybe there's a world where I could make some headway on this, but I don't think that's right now. Somehow I don't. I hate those guys. I hate them so much. What other windows do we have? We finished boxy. God, I loved boxy. Got a lot of non-boxy left. Castle gates is just a bunch of stuff, is it? Yeah, it's just all of this stuff. 5, 6, 4. Boxy size separation area number. Well, if it's boxy, excuse you. Oh no, this doesn't have to be a 2x2. It could be straight. Okay. This is either that or that. One of the two. Neighboring regions must have different areas. Well, in that case then, these 6s can't ever touch. So, this 6 can't do that. It can't do that. Therefore, it's either this or a straight line. I think it has to be the straight line, because if this was true, then where does this go? It's not going out there. Neighboring regions must have different areas. So I think this has to do that. Though, how do I then do this 6? I can't. What? What? All regions are rectangular. Neighboring regions must have different areas. I mean, there could be a world where those are in the same 6, I guess, right? Is that going to be the trick on this? This is 2, this is 2, this is 1, this is 5. That's not boxy. Neither's this. I mean, that can be a 1 and a 3. But this can't have 2s touching. Is there anything else I can do about that? Yes, there is. That was alright. The 6s really carried us there, for sure. Was that part of Castle? Is that what we were looking at just then? I barely recall. Right, give me a medium-looking puzzle that I think I can crack. Range, non-boxy. There's 9 more here. You're hiding there. There's a 7 hiding there. You're a big palisade. You're a big palisade flower. What about that guy? Oh boy. How did I miss so many things here? I guess I have vague memory of this puzzle. And struggling. Like, just struggling to visualize how this goes. Area minimum at least 5. So that has to come out. Those have to come out. That has to come out. This has to go left or right. Then that would have to pick this up. It would have to... I mean, it could get bigger than 5, so that could pick that up. That would be viable. Oh. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh dearie me. How are we gonna basically get all of this all of this empty stuff on the right? There's a reason I gave up on this puzzle previously. Where are you? Oh my god, you're all the way down there. Non-boxy size separation area number. Right, should we give this a go properly as a 6-level puzzle, and even if we spend another like 30 minutes here, we'll be alright. So, non-boxy. This 3 is either this, or this, or this. Doesn't really tell me too much, I would wager. Non-boxy 4s. So that can't exist, because that would be boxy. Just wondering where I can break into this puzzle, really. Well, this 6, even if it takes those for 4, it must take these. Now, it might take these, but it must take these. These 4s are not connected. It feels like there's so much room. Okay, here's something really important. On non-boxy levels, we can't ever leave a 1 or a 2 anywhere. Because a 1 on its own is boxy. So I think that means there's going to be something about these 5s where we can't do this, because that's a 6, but we can't do that because that 5 leaves a single. So I suspect that the 6 is going to have to encroach in here some amount, and that these 5s are going to have to be separated somewhere along the line, because we can't leave a 1. Or they could do this. Because, yeah, maybe it has to do that, because if this comes out this way, and that goes out that way, we leave the 1. The 5s to not be boxy, they can't be in straight lines. I think this might be definitely true. So, where else does that leave us for areas that we can build stuff that can't leave a 1? This 4 can't be boxy. I think this 4 has to either be a T shape or a Z shape. Can't be a Z shape because that leaves a 1. Can't be this because that's boxy. Can't be this because it's boxy. So I think this is going to be a T shape. It can't be this T shape because that 4 can't touch it. And for this 4 to go to the other direction, can't leave the 1. So I think that has to be true. And therefore, we can put that 5 there. And then we don't have anything touching the same things. So I'm pretty happy with this so far. We've got a 4 and a 3. And the thing about this 4 and a 3 is that neither can be touching a 4 or a 3 after we're done with the puzzle. But we can't leave a 1 anywhere. Which lets me think that that might be what we get to. Because every other version of this I see, like if we do this and this, we leave boxy. If we do this, we leave another 3. If we do that, we leave boxy. If we do that, we leave boxy. If we do that, we leave a 3. So This feels like the only way that I can see to resolve those without leaving a problem. Now, this can't be a 4. Can't be a 3. Has to be at least a 5. Can't be this 5 because then that 5 will be touching this 5. So, grow all the way up to that. This 3 could do this, hypothetically. But then we end up in a similar situation. If that's the 5, we leave a 3. If that's the 5, we leave 1s. If that's the 5, we leave 1s. How do we get out with a 5 without leaving any boxy stuff? On that right side, the 4-3 seemed pretty obvious. This seems slightly less so. Alright, can't be that. This 5 has to take those, but then we leave a 2 or a 3, which we can't leave. Can't do that. Are the only 2 shapes this 3 can make? This. Is it ever this? Can't leave boxy. So that could be 4. Hello. Alright, that's a viable way to get out. There's still kind of like a big question mark about this in my progress, but I'm reasonably happy with it as an option to get out. So, where are we going next? I'm interested in... Well, this has to do that. Because it can't be this 3, it can't be that 2, it can't be that 1. So that must do at least this. This is a viable 4 on its own. If this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to the 6, because if it wasn't, it would have to be like a big 8, which it could be. There's no reason it couldn't be. But if that had to go to there, the 3 can't leave a 1. 3 can't leave 1s. 3 can't leave 1s. There's no way we can do that without leaving this 1 here. So this does seem more viable as one big space. This 6 can't exist on both sides of that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That lets all of that exist without putting 2 things on both sides of this line. God, I hope most of this is correct on the way. This is kind of another bit of a question mark, as is this. This can't do this. How do we get this 4 out without leaving a 1? Because this can't do that and leave 1. So that has to touch this. Or, no. That could come out all the way to there. Then that would be a 4 and a 5. Can I make a 6 here that doesn't leave... That can't be a 4. Well, this is 10. So it needs to be a 6 and a 4. There's the 4. There's the 6. Beautiful. That was pretty good going for a 6, I think. The nice revelation at the start for the 5s having to be this shape, and there's a couple of instances where like this being a really big shape worked out and this being quite a large shape worked out, but pretty swift. That was like a 11-minute 6. I'm pretty happy with that for now. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.